I'm here to answer one simple question. Should NFTs be added to racing games? No. No. The answer is no. No. I can imagine it is a complete and utter resounding no to the idea of implementing the non-fungible token system into racing games, like the likes of Forza Horizon 5, The Crew 2, the upcoming Test Drive Unlimited, and yeah, I think that's every open world racer. So why am I here talking about it? Why am I here discussing NFTs, if that's the case? Well, as much as I'll be listing off all the negatives about NFTs, along with a bit of, Sigma Grindsets advocate, why even have this conversation in the first place? If you are someone who plays racing games mostly around the Forza sphere, New Horizon comes out, you play it, and then you wait for the next Horizon. NFTs don't even come into question for you, but I find myself in a rather odd position, as I'm in the sphere of Ubisoft Ivory Tower's Crew franchise that's currently on its second installment. The Crew 2, Welcome to Motor Nation. And us here at the Crew 2 sphere are under Big Daddy Ubisoft's unreasonably neglectful hands. But if you have been in any kind of gaming news spheres as of late, you might have heard of a little thing called Ubisoft Quartz. If you haven't heard of it by that name, you may know what it is. See, that was, as much as it was intended, a large-scale deployment of NFT integrations into a number of Ubisoft projects. And the first lamb brought to the slaughter of Quartz was Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I'm gonna give a quick summary of what went on with the whole mess of Ghost Recon Breakpoint, because it adds on to what I'm gonna talk about with racing games. See, the release was some trousers, a helmet, and a gun camo. I don't know what Ghost Recon is as a game. I don't know, give me the Punisher NFT. He's in that game. They were released on the blockchain. Ugh. And surprise, surprise, they bombed harder than a PS5 player's Regera in a dive bomb escape. Allegedly, they only totaled £400 in revenue, perhaps even dollars. I'm not too sure, maybe euros, because France, but 400 of anything at that point is pretty terrible. The remainder of the stock was just scattered amongst some Ubisoft employees. If all the articles are to be believed, I'm sure those Ubisoft employees were very chuffed when their bonuses included a gun camo on the blockchain for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. In fact, they failed so miserably that they are referred to as what has now led to the complete and utter cancellation of Ghost Recon's continued development. Yes, that's it. Ghost Recon is no longer getting any updates. I know the poor subsidiary that Ubisoft would have forced to add the NFTs. I'm sure they're just so happy right now. And now that Ubisoft is just going to give them the next project that they're going to be forced to work on. Whatever. But if that wasn't bad enough, you'd think an NFT system being regarded as the killing blow of a subsidiary of your publisher. Because that wasn't bad enough at all. You'd think that would be the end of Ubisoft Quartz, then life could move on. But no, even though it killed the game, Ubisoft took that exact time that Ghost Recon is announced to be completely shelved as a game. That time where they're thanking the players for playing the game in the first place is the exact same time Ubisoft took to promise more NFT drops in the future. At this point, out of touch is an understatement. So, NFTs are now expected to rear their ugly head, their ugly ape head, at any moment in any Ubisoft title. And unfortunately, just like Ghost Recon, there's a little game that is a Ubisoft game that is to the side enough that is at a point where Ubisoft doesn't even talk about it unless it's making them money, that feels so at the end of its lifespan already, but is still receiving game-changing updates, I greatly fear that The Crew 2 is the perfect test dummy to be the next unfortunate victim of Ubisoft Quartz. But would this be a bad thing? Yes, it would. But what would it even look like? What would you even be able to turn into an NFT in a racing game of all things? You think coming from Forza or the older TDUs, there's not anything you could really turn into an NFT in games like that, but there's a problem. See, unlike the Forzas of the world, The Crew 2 takes on a more RPG collectible style with a Fortnite item shop format with vanities. Like look at these things. I really hate to say it. But tell me they don't already look like NFTs. Look at them. They're even in collections. There's different color variations. And, oh, I'm giving them ideas. I'm just giving them ideas. Oh, no. Well, would this be entirely bad news? Well, let me go into playing devil's advocate. Because, yes, it would be bad news. But let me talk on the other side of what comes of it. But don't worry, I'll backtrack very quickly. So, say we got NFTs. And there was no scams involved. We just cutthroat NFTs now in The Crew. They could go very, very simple. The same thing that they did with Ghost Recon, where they have 3 items, say tires, a topper, and perhaps a smoke. And you log on to the blockchain, and you purchase these, and then you have them attached to your account. And they are now yours. This would, the things that this would change about the game is it would have a hard lock. It would cause a direct brick wall between those players who are above the age of 18 and under the age of 18. If you saw someone with the NFT vanities, exploits be damned, it would most likely seem that they are an older player, at least one who is wise to cryptocurrencies, and would separate those who are younger. We could have our fingers crossed and hope that the designs of these NFT vanities were good, so that when we purchased these 3 items, they were actually something that people wanted to buy. Say we even took it a step further, and say something along the lines of account linking, and every vanity you owned was made into an NFT, and you'd just be given that NFT if you owned that vanity. You could then have that verified, so there's only that number of vanities is the amount of people that own them, or have declared them. And you now have them as NFTs. This could open the gates to the first ever kind of trading system in The Crew 2. You could actually sell vanity items to other players, play the game to get an exclusive vanity, and then turn it for a profit. Those who are new to the game, instead of having to wait months on end for their favorite vanities to release in the item shop for them to purchase, they could then instead just purchase those vanities from other players. Of course, a cut of which purchase would go to Ubisoft, because they still need to make profit and not just have a certain number of vanities in circulation and, cancelling out the money they make. Those who wouldn't want to buy an entire motor pass could just go onto the secondary market and purchase the vanity item that they actually want from the motor pass. There's a lot of things that can come of this, but there's something even greater. Imagine all the things that I have just described with the trading system, but with summit vehicles and motor pass vehicles. There would still remain the same number of cars in circulation, because, once a car is traded, it would be removed from one account and then put onto another. So that would create a direct trading system. I don't mean like Forza Auction House, I mean like direct trading. Just for that, I would love it. Because I love this kind of integration. I've concepted it thoroughly, but it could also be implemented into the game completely normally and not have to have the tinge and grimness of NFTs, you know? They could do the vanity trading system and add that into the game just through crew credits. The same with Summit cars and Motor Pass cars. Let us trade them for crew credit, you know, and the circulation stays within the game. We just don't need nor want NFT integration, so why even bother? And thankfully, linked to all this is one saving grace. Unlike Ghost Recon, I personally believe that the Crew 2's average player base is much younger than a game like Ghost Recon. Of course, I'm well aware of the 8-year-olds that'll say yes to being 18 and play a shooter game, but I think there's much more so of that in a racing game because there's no restrictions to begin with. You can just go on and play the game. I think that Ivory Tower would presumably know this as well. They'd have access to demographical data. I'd assume. And hopefully, that would mean that it just wouldn't make sense to implement an NFT system, especially considering how much Ghost Recon bombed. When you're already segregating an 18 and over audience to be able to interact with something within the game, and you already know that a arguably larger franchise of your own company performed terribly, when a smaller franchise, the Crew 2, in a more niche, I think would be terrible. So hopefully they are aware of that, and Ubisoft don't force our good fellas at Ivory Tower to implement some kind of an NFT system. It's a shame that the Crew 2 would be treated as such a guinea pig. As we know, there is rumors that there was map expansions planned, but the Motor Pass had to be swapped out for that. And hopefully, given the Ghost Recon fiasco, they just give up and go for a bigger title, for more promotion, and hope they sell better in an Assassin's Creed than they would in our brum cartoony plane boat car game. And you know what? That is one of the most out there videos I've ever done. I feel like I say that like every 5th video. I'm like, whoa, this is the most different video I've ever done. This isn't the most different. I did the documentary, I did the hero interview, but it's one of those videos that's out there. And I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, mostly just because of the thumbnail. I made the thumbnail, and I was like, that would be an interesting thing to talk about. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, but that is the video. I do urge you to subscribe if you watched this far, and leave a like on the video too if you'd very much want to. And I do kind of love doing this kind of thing. I scripted this video, in fact. I scripted a video. I haven't scripted a video since my Motor Pass documentary, which was a 14-page script. I just put together this 2-page script here, today, as I did this, and I kind of loved it. You know, I kind of really enjoyed it. So perhaps expect something similar, perhaps don't, because I still need to do a Reddit video. I still need to, maybe I've already done one. I still need to restart the game on a new account. So there's still a lot to come, but that's what I've got for you today. I do hope you boys did enjoy this video because I enjoyed making it. Thank you to popular members, a special thank you to famous members, and an insane thank you to Dustin for the love of life, our Icon member, and Corey Brown, a newcomer Icon member. And yes, that's just how long I've had this footage for and not edited it. Also, what was this frame I had to pause on? Why was this the frame I paused on? Anyway, moving on. That's gonna be about it from me. Trust me when I say the members help so greatly in being able to do what I do. That's gonna be about it from me. In a bit.